You know, we all yearn to return to the past, a simpler time when games looked like this. Arnold Schwarzenegger said stuff like this.
Stick around.
And the United States and the Soviet Union were at each other's throats with nuclear weapons and the world could end at any minute, and an old movie star made some really polarizing economic decisions while he was president. And what was so great about this time again? Oh, right. Video games. Old games. Simple games. Games where your only ticket to entry was a quarter at a Pizza Hut, or dare I say, an actual arcade. Last week, I promised we would talk about using the Steam controller for emulators. I lied. We're talking about a game on Steam. But that game is technically an emulator running a collection of older games, so I also didn't lie. Real talk though, the game is Atari Vault, and in my opinion, it is the single greatest showcase for what the Steam controller can do. You don't even really need to set it up that much, you can just buy it and download it and have a grand old time. So before we begin, we're going to talk some basic gaming history. Before game consoles were the rad hot thing, if you wanted to play video games, you had to walk up to a cabinet, insert a quarter or two, and play for a few minutes. There wasn't really any such thing as a standard controller back then, so a lot of these cabinets just kinda did what they wanted. Pong used little circular knobs to control the paddles on the screen. Pac-Man came with a single control stick. Missile Command and Centipede both used trackballs. Then, when game consoles came around, developers had to develop their games around a single controller. This is cool since developers can draw from inherent player knowledge about how the controller works. This is why a lot of you who are watching sort of inherently know how, say, a 360 controller works. However, we lost a sort of uniqueness, a sense that a game's controller was as much a part of the game as the graphics, or the music, or that stunning seizure-inducing the end screen. I could go into way more detail, and if you want to know more about how controllers influence game design, go check out Game Maker's Toolkit's video on controllers. He does a way better job of explaining it than I think I ever could. But how does the Steam controller tie into all of this? Because the Steam controller is the first controller in almost 3 decades that can emulate all those arcade controls short of picking up a whole extra trackball or fighting stick. Seriously, Missile Command on the Steam controller feels so good, it's almost like it was made for it. If you bind the 3 missile launchers to the 2 paddles and the right pad click, it feels so natural, it's almost like the game was made for this controller. It feels like it's the definitive way to play this game. The same goes for stuff like Centipede or Pong. The bindings for every single game in this collection are excellent, and if you're willing to pony up the bucks for it, you can legally play all of these classic games pretty much as they were originally intended to be played. That's it. If you have a Steam controller, go buy this game. It's great. Actual, dubiously legal emulators are next week. I just wanted to talk about this particular collection because it's so good, seriously guys. That's the end of the video. I don't know how to end videos, guys.